In the world of professional golf, there exists an elite club. A club filled with legends, household names, and rising stars. A club where membership is earned yearly with time, sweat, and dedication. This week, 50 players will gain entry into this exclusive fellowship. The top 25 from the regular season have already secured their spots, and another 25 spots are up for grabs here this week. Some dreams will be realized. Others will have to wait another day. Who will be next to join the likes of Jason Duffner, Grant Snedeker, and Keegan Bradley as the next great Web.com Tour graduate? EA Sports and the Web.com Tour proudly present opening round coverage of the Web.com Tour Championship. Getting set now for first round coverage of the Web.com Tour Championship. This is the fourth and final stop of the Web.com Tour Finals. And Frank, this is always a pressure-packed environment.
It is, but also a chance to see the raw talent that'll be on display for many a year. And at this tender stage, these players are powerful, talented, and often brilliant.
We're ready to go. Off to the first hole. Frank, were you the kind of player who actually might have been worried if you didn't have first tee jitters?
Definitely. You didn't have the energy if that was the case. But it's about turning that energy into some sort of positive form. Make nice full swings. Pick some good targets. And, of course, you never know what's going to happen. Oh, that was sweet. Straight down the middle.
Frank, you want to get off to a good start. This approach shot here at the first is important.
It is. Two distinct levels on this this green. The high side on the left there and the lower side on the right. If you're trying to keep that ball a little left of a middle, you've got to be careful of that bunker on the left.
Down, little Sheba. Down! Playing this par 4, still not on the green after that second shot.
That's still not done. A good third shot. Maybe get away here with par.
And he's made the green. Just needs to keep it steady here over the putt. Just keeping the leaders within sight, Frank.
Doing a good job, really. Leaders at the moment, they seem to be in a playing to a different level, but top 10, interesting over these next few holes.
Frank, what do you make of the par 5 second?
Doglegs to the left, so there's a decision to be made here all the time, but a good hooking tee shot. That takes the trees on the left out of play and even the rough on the right. Good tee shot here. I've seen people get home with as little as a 5 iron.
Nicely played onto the fairway here at the second hole. Okay, the second shot now at this par 5. Frank, that ball's sitting up like it's on plush carpeting.
Rich, if you and I had lies like that every time, we'd still be playing this game for a living.
So on the putting surface and taking a good look now at this birdie putt here at the second. So they'll tap in. Player knows they're on the move with that birdie. Quick glance at the leaderboard. They can see, Frank, they're not out of it.
Things are very volatile right now.
So we started with a par 4, then a par 5, and now the 177-yard par 3 third hole. Plenty of hazards here, Frank.
Yeah, you really break this green up into 3 portions. Front left, front right, and that back, just on top of the ridge.
Well, you can hear it right off the center of the club face. This has a chance to be close.
That is an excellent play right there. The approach, giving him another good look. Frank, this would be a nice way to jumpstart the round.
Yeah, his momentum can quickly go in the right direction if he makes this.
Very impressive and on the move right now. Back over now to the fourth. Frank, this is a very nice start to the round. Couple of birdies on the scorecard, looks extremely solid.
Yeah, looks well poised actually to have a very good round today.
Nicely played shot, about 310 yards down the fairway.
Frank, the second here at the fourth is a dangerous shot.
Once again, this is another example of where you have to look at the green. Where exactly is the flag? If it's on that high portion, you've got to fly it all the way back.
Well, this one should be safely on deck here. Just a sensational eagle right there and into second place. Fifth hole, good par 4, isn't it, Frank?
If ever a hole was built for Lee Trevino, who used to love to cut it, this would be the hole. It just looks and screams for a shot that's hit left to right. And that's the only way really to avoid bunkers left and long, and that one that's all the way down the right side.
That's a good spot right there.
Center cut. Oh, that's it. New member of the 300-yard club.
Good poke right there. Frank, no doubt these players have dreams of winning the big championships, the majors someday, but at least to this point, you would have to say this is probably the biggest day of their golfing lives.
Golf, or professional golf, can be a little bit like snakes and ladders. They've got themselves on the ladder. If they can climb this one, the next ladder, the Pga Tour. But don't slip.
Safely aboard. Getting set now over the putt. That's a birdie, and that's a good position from which to make a weekend move, comfortably inside the cut line, still with plenty of time left in this tournament. Frank, this isn't a hole that sort of jumps out at you the way, say, 17 does.
Yeah, a lot of times people will just sort of gloss over it, but anytime you get a par 4 into 400 yards, it's a great opportunity. But once again, a positional hole. Take advantage of it.
Well, that was a beautiful drive, Frank. Really good position to take advantage.
Sitting up beautifully in the fairway.
Frank, now the second shot here at hole number 6.
Yeah, not overly long, but be very aware of these palm trees that are short. Many a shot's caught those trees coming into this green.
Can't hide the flagstick from that man.
He is just unbelievable. That never deviated offline.
Racking them and stacking them right now. 6 under par for the tournament. 7th hole here at Sawgrass, Frank, a bit uncomfortable off the tee.
It is. It reminds me a little bit of the opening hole, much longer version, where when you stand on the tee and look at the green, it's a straightaway hole. But that fairway goes to the left and it comes back to the right. But they're all optical illusions. Well, it's going to take a good one here, considering what they've already gone through, Rich. Right now, that green is going to look very small, so it's going to take a good shot here to give himself an opportunity.
Some really poor play to this point.
There's a big green, and they're going to use every inch of it.
And to generate some momentum here at the 7th hole. It is for birdie. He has a 12-footer here. Now to 7 under par. Here we are at the 8th at Pete Dye's famed stadium course at the TPC Sawgrass. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo. Frank, this is a hole that I really like.
And players do too, Rich, especially off that back tee where it must be about 80 yards of shoot that you go through before the hole actually starts to open up. And this green, 11 bunkers in total around the whole putting surface. Whoop, this is taken off on a weird line.
And it's going to be in the rough, it looks like. That will be a great look at birdie. Been pretty good all day from this distance, just trying to take care of business. Just an amazing display. The records continue to fall. Frank, now at the 9th, this really is one of my favorite par 5s in the entire sport.
And I certainly enjoy watching people play it today, Rich. It used to be unreachable, but the longer hitters now, we're starting to see them go for this par 5 regularly in 2. And the reason why they start to hit the drive more down the right now than what they used to. People used to try and go down the left side. The right side, it hugs the water, but you get a better view of the second shot.
Frank, narrow entryway to this green here at the 9th. Short shot, but kind of difficult.
Yeah, don't want to get too aggressive here. You missed the green on the left, that bunker there, very difficult to get it up and down. And of course there's the 2 little pop bunkers on the right side.
Wow, Frank, he is dialed in.
Yeah, that was just some shot on there. Easy birdie.
Would love to get this one. Big putt for birdie. Continues to amaze. Yet another birdie. And what a day it's been. Excellent front side. Trying to keep it going here on the second 9.
He's just playing beautifully, hitting so many good shots, giving himself so many opportunities. Can he keep it going?
Well, it looks as though they're going to need to use all their strength to sort of hack it out of that rough, missing it off the tee here. Wayward from the tee, and this one is headed for the rough, Frank. Second shot coming out of the rough here. Stuck the follow through right there. This could be really good. Early part of this back 9 and a good approach shot. Now we'll have this for birdie.
Still snack though.
You can't leave it short, Frank.
Oh, and especially right in the middle.
Did the job right there. Now to the 11th, par 5.
Good tee shot, and then you certainly think about hitting a hybrid or a lofted fairway wood into this green that's really narrow, one of the narrowest on the golf course. There's a little pot bunker left of this green when you go for 2 that often swallows up that second shot if it's a little bit too conservative. But there's a lake there. Seen more than one ball splash in the pond over the years.
And from the fairway for his second shot here. Frank, that ball's sitting up like it's on plush carpeting.
Rich, if you and I had lies like that every time, we'd still be playing this game for a living.
That should be pretty good right there. On the safe side. Oh, can't hide the flagstick from that man. really starting to shine, moves to 10 under for the tournament. Up now, hole number 12. It's a short one, 358-yard, par 4.
This can catch you off guard. If you just try and hit the ball on the fairway, if you're on the middle of the fairway, the left side, you will have a blind second shot. So ideally, hit it down that right side of the fairway if you want to see the flag.
Not the longest, but not bad. 295 yards in the fairway. We'll settle. He's making the game look very simple right now. See it, hit it, and he's got it right on track. Well, the great hits just keep coming. Moves to minus 11 on the day. Hole number 13 here at Sawgrass. Tricky 181-yard par 3.
You don't have to hit directly at this flag. When that flag's at the back there, you can use the contours. When it's on the left, once again, you can use the ridge in the middle of the green. Matter of fact, one of the hardest hole locations is when it's in the front right, because that's when you have to be perfect. Now, this is not heading in the right direction.
Well, it looks like it's going to be in the rough. Well, it's obvious he is in complete command of his golf ball right now. You don't want to let this one get away. This is about concentration and focus at this point.
Great, too.
Beautiful. Frank, the 14th hole. A lot has happened here over the years.
I think it's the litmus test on the back nine. That's where things really start to heat up. It looks like a straightforward tee shot, but often the eyes wander to that water down the left side, and of course if you think about that, you invariably fire the ball towards the right, where those hillocks and thick rough is, and virtually no chance of reaching the par 4 and 2. And I'm about to play a young man that's given so many lessons over the years. Now the time has come for him to take his own advice, and perhaps at the end, a chance to win PGA Tour card.
That's good stuff right there. Wonderful approach, and now a really good look at birdie. Shouldn't be a problem here, but not a formality either. "13 under on the day." Back to the TPC Sawgrass, the 15th hole. It's a par 4 as we make our way to this finishing stretch. And Frank, what's in store for the players here?
Another one of those par 4s around 450 yards. Ideally hit it tee shot down the right side, keeping away from that bunker, but that's a flat bunker down the right with no lip, so it's still not too bad. Biggest problem here is that green. So many undulations on this green.
This one looks like it's headed right for the middle of the dance floor, Frank.
Rather nice shot, I would say.
That was a solid strike and a good result.
Very few can teach and play. But there's lessons to be learned in that birdie putt.
And he has it.
A good putt redeems all.
Frank, fans watching, they love excitement in the game. 16's an exciting hole, isn't it?
Well, that's where you get it, because you hear the roars. You start to see the big crowds that go all the way around 16, 17, and 18T. You feel where you are in the tournament, too. A movement that starts at 16 can be carried all the way to the clubhouse.
Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special.
Good chance now for a birdie. That was an outstanding play.
Well, it's almost a guarantee there after that shot.
Everybody loves him. Birdie on the card. Frank, I've seen players stick that finish, the follow-through, like an Olympic gymnast. They're staring at it. It looks good, and it flies a yard long, and they make 7.
Well, a yard in a game of inches, too much.
Not looking good, Frank.
I think it's wet.
Wow, lucky break right there, Frank.
Well, that's what everyone else is going to say, except him.
He's made it. It's very possibly the most famous hole in all of golf, the Island Green, the 17th at TPC Sawgrass. And when an amateur has played it, they'll come back and say, hey, I played the TPC Sawgrass, and the first question their buddies ask them is, what'd you make at 17? Well, I made an 8, but I hit it perfectly off. It just went a little too far. Now his final approach shot of the day just wants to go out in style.
One more good swing. Safely on deck.
Nice play right there. That's in pretty close. Getting set now over the putt.
Well, that was a tricky one, but it's in.
So through one round, Frank, our leader really put on a good show today.
They certainly did, Rich. It was truly a great performance, especially from tee to green. It's not easy to come out of the gates like that.
EA Sports and the Web.com Tour proudly present second round coverage of the Web.com Tour Championship. It's the second round of the Web.com Tour Championship, fourth and final stop of the Web.com Tour Finals. We saw a lot of great golf on day number one, but as we inch closer, Frank, with those 50 PGA Tour cards up for grabs, that pressure begins to ratchet up.
It would have to, Rich, with that golden ticket come the end of this week, and that's a chance to play on the PGA Tour. But for the time being, let's look at the way they're playing right now. We are seeing some players play at the top of their game.
Good swing, good shot yet again. That is an excellent play right there. The approach, getting him another good look. Birdie putt coming up. Had a par on this hole yesterday.
A great start.
Now to the second. Frank, what do you make of this hole?
Well, over the years, we've seen more and more people hitting three-wood off this tee. And three-wood's normally easier to draw, and it doesn't run out down that right side.
And that's going to stay on the fairway here at the second hole. Now the second shot to the par 5.
That's an absolute beauty.
So on the putting surface, and taking a good look now at this birdie putt here at the second. Frankie's going for 2 birdies in a row.
If he can knock this one in, then that's certainly going to help the confidence.
How about this? Birdies at 1 and 2. We could be in for something pretty special today. Now the par 3 third.
Not overly long, but 2 is a rarity here. Difficult green, and you don't see a lot of tee shots actually finish close here for some unknown reason.
Appears to be a smart shot, Frank.
Yeah, no problem here. That's going to fly all the way.
That's well played. Places it about 10 feet out for birdie. Birdie try again here today. Had a nice birdie on this hole yesterday. So, Frank, what do you think of the start so far?
Rock solid. Very impressed.
Frank, how difficult is it to access the hole location if you miss the fairway here at 4?
Well, if you miss it left, I've got to say the lesser of two evils is to be in the bunker on the right.
And now it's right in his wheelhouse. Good position where he can attack the pin.
Yeah, he has all those options now. With that ball sitting up, you can bring it in high, you can bring it in low. The choice is yours.
Well, this one should be safely on deck here. Well, that is an exceptional shot on the green and in position for a birdie.
Yeah, it's a formality now.
Score that a birdie. Fifth hole, good par 4, isn't it, Frank?
If ever a hole was built for Lee Trevino, who used to love to cut it, this would be the hole. It just looks and screams for a shot that's hit left to right. And that's the only way really to avoid bunkers left and long, and that one that's all the way down the right side.
Well, those are good numbers right there. 320, 320 yards. Just crushed it in the fairway. Great effort right there, and a great chance to knock in that short putt. Been pretty good all day from this distance, just trying to take care of business. Just an amazing display. The records continue to fall. Frank, you don't want to get too cute with that second shot here at the 6th.
I remember many a time, Rich, when they put the flag right of center. You try and hit a little bit too close, those palm trees all of a sudden come into play. Hits one of those, that ball can go anywhere.
They'll be pretty happy with that 290-yard poke off the tee. Frank, now the second shot here at hole number 6.
Yeah, not overly long, but be very aware of these palm trees that are short. Many a shot's caught those trees coming into this green.
Pretty good shot right there, about 10 feet away, setting up the putt for birdie. Birdie try again here today. Oh, I thought he had that. Oh, man.
I just pushed it.
Boy, that hurts. This would give him the par. Good putt. Frank, the 7th hole here at the TPC Sawgrass, vintage Pete Dye, isn't it?
It is. Anything other than straight confuses the player off the tee. But there's 3 pot bunkers down the right side. Just inside that last little pot bunker on the left of that, it's actually a pretty good line.
Frank, you've been there. What's the best way to approach this next shot at the 7th hole?
There's a lot of mounding on this 7th green, to the right and the left. You can use those mounds to kick the ball to the flag. This looks like it's going to find the target.
Well, he gave us a demonstration today why he's one of the best in the sport. Every green hit in regulation. Setting himself up for a good weekend, the wily golf instructor makes his birdie. Here we are at the 8th at Pete Dye's famed stadium course at the TPC Sawgrass. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo. Frank, this is a hole that I really like.
And players do too, Rich, especially off that back tee where it must be about 80 yards of shoot that you go through before the hole actually starts to open up. And this green, 11 bunkers in total around the whole putting surface.
That's well played. Now a good look at birdie. And getting ready for the putt.
Great too.
Beautiful. Frank, what do you make of the final hole here on the front side, the 583-yard par 5 ninth?
Just depends on how much you want to risk here. If you hit a good drive down the right side, it's certainly gettable for 2. But you can make an absolute mess here at 9. Got the measurement out there, Rich. Looks like 290 yards. Second shot.
Frank, when you think layup shot on a par 5, you think it's easy. This isn't necessarily that simple, is it?
No, you've got to keep the ball to the right. Otherwise, those overhanging limbs on those trees on the left, they become havoc.
You can't hide the flagstick from that man.
He is just unbelievable. That never deviated offline.
Continues to amaze. Yet another birdie, and what a day it's been. Excellent front side, trying to keep it going here on the second 9.
He's just playing beautifully, hitting so many good shots, giving himself so many opportunities. Can he keep it going?
Just a great pass at the golf ball, 310 yards and into fairway. Frank, where's the difficulty on this approach here at the 10th?
It's really the shape of this green. That little front piece, you have to be right on the money there. And then, of course, that green starts to open up and then move to the right.
Good-looking shot right here. Just a case of a hole suiting the player's eye. Made the birdie yesterday, and he has a good chance to make another one today. Continues to roll it very well all day long. Now to the 11th, par 5.
Good tee shot, and then you certainly think about hitting a hybrid or a lofted fairway wood into this green that's really narrow, one of the narrowest on the golf course. There's a little pot bunker left of this green when you go for 2 that often swallows up that second shot if it's a little bit too conservative. But there's a lake there. Seen more than one ball splash in the pond over the years.
Frank, that ball's sitting up like it's on plush carpeting.
Rich, if you and I had lies like that every time, we'd still be playing this game for a living.
Terrific golf shot. And now that for an easy birdie. Just a couple of feet. Oh, yeah, he's made it for a birdie. Frank, what's so much fun about TPC Sawgrass is the excitement that it generates for a fan and how many different holes there are. 12 is a good example.
Yeah, 12 looks like it's fresh from Scotland. You can see why Pete Dye spent a lot of time over there. Tee shot looks straight away, but the second shot is blind. The shot you'd get in Scotland with a wedge where you just see the top of the flagstick and you've got to really guesstimate on the yardage that you have. But a good wedge shot and someone that can judge their distance, this is certainly a birdie hole.
Well, that's how you play the game, right there. Really not much to this. The only issue would be a lack of concentration or focus. He's made it. Here now, the 12th hole at the TPC Sawgrass. It's a 358-yard par 4, so short on the card, Frank, but obviously a challenge. What's the key here?
Once again, trying to find that right position on the fairway, and that's down the right side. Anything down the left, that mound is going to block your view. Oh, solid strike right in the heart of the green.
Really in control of this hole. Birdie yesterday and another opportunity on the way. Not a gimme, but well within his range. just singes the edge, Frank.
Yeah, but at least he's burning the edges. You know you're hitting good putts.
Clean this up with a tap.
Comfortably knocks it in.
Fourteenth hole, 481-yard par 4, ranking second in difficulty, Frank.
Yeah, this one always gets overlooked, Rich. You've only got to flick the drive a little left, and all of a sudden your round just gets completely wrecked. Ask Vijay Singh. It cost him a Players' Championship. Many a player there has dealt with that left side. You will pay the price. This looks like it's heading for the bunker.
Into the tall cabbage. That ball is swallowed up. He'll need to be strong with this. You like this one, Frank?
Oh, it's a good one. Safely on.
Well, considering the lead that he has on the rest of the field, a par is all you need. Back to the TPC Sawgrass, the 15th hole. It's a par 4 as we make our way to this finishing stretch. And Frank, what's in store for the players here?
Another one of those par 4s around 450 yards. Ideally hit a tee shot down the right side, keeping it away from that bunker. But that's a flat bunker down the right with no lip, so it's still not too bad. Biggest problem here is that green. So many undulations on this green.
Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special.
That is how it's done, right there. What an approach shot. Birdie here yesterday, trying to do it again today. Just an amazing display. The records continue to fall. Frank, you're one behind. Sunday afternoon, you're trying to win one of the game's great championships. Is this a spot that you love as a competitor, the 16th hole of par 5, with a chance to make a lot of noise?
It's a spot you cannot hide from, Rich, because you know exactly there. If you haven't looked at a scoreboard, you can feel it from the atmosphere.
He has given this one the full treatment. Perfect release through the ball, and this shot is on the fairway, over 300 yards. Not too bad, about 25 feet away. And it's a long way to the hole from here. Never easy. This one's tracking. Wow. Nate Siegel makes everybody else look sort of average, Frank.
And look at the size of that lead on the leaderboard now.
Now to maybe the most famous hole in the whole sport. It's the 17th here at the stadium course, the TPC Sawgrass. Frank, if you look at it on the card, it seems so simple. It's just 137 yards. For the best in the world, that's a pitching wedge, maybe a 9-iron. And yet every year we see nightmares galore.
And that's where you have to remind yourself what can and what does happen here. I normally cut the green in half here. It's 26 yards deep. So if you just take 13 yards off the yardage, you have 124 yards to the middle of the green. That has to be your target. This is no time to be a hero. You can still have a putt for birdie.
So close.
Just when you think you're going to make birdie. Now, have to really concentrate on this and at least make par.
He'll take par and move on. Now one of the more difficult holes in golf. The 18th here at Sawgrass, 462-yard par 4. In 2013, this hole averaged .39 strokes above par. What makes it so challenging, Frank?
Just that big body of water that's to the left of 18 here, that's also shared to the right of 9. Not a single fairway bunker on this 18th hole. So really, lack of definition. It's so hard to find a target here. This looks like it's going to find the target.
Great way to finish off the final approach shot with a birdie opportunity. Birdie try again here today. Well, you could see he thought he had that.
It looked in the whole way until the end.
Very well done. Almost made it.
Yeah, there'll be no stress for the next one.
Simple, solid, and he'll take it.
But one that you need to make.
There you have it. The second round is complete. Another solid effort put together, and it shows on the scorecard.
And after 2 rounds, you really start to see not only who's playing well, but who's consistent.
Presented by EA Sports and the PGA Tour. Welcome to TPC Sawgrass, known for one of the most terrifying holes in all of golf, the 17th Island Green. This is Rich Lerner alongside my colleague Frank Nobilo for EA Sports. We'll be calling all the action for today's event. Frank, you're no stranger to this layout. What should the players be looking for today?
Straight driving is imperative out here today, Rich. You don't actually have to hit the ball overly long. You can actually take the driver out of play on some of the holes, but really position first with all those tee shots you're hitting today.
Frank, you want to get off to a good start. This approach shot here at the first is important.
It is. 2 distinct levels on this green, the high side on the left there and the lower side on the right. If you're trying to keep that ball a little left of a middle, you've got to be careful of that bunker on the left.
That's how the game is played, right there.
He's just making it look so easy. That birdie coming up, formality.
Just a little tap in here. 1 under early in the round. Second hole here at Sawgrass, 532-yard par 5. Frank, considered one of the easier holes on the golf course, is that right?
Yeah, you don't have to hit it miles down there. Anything that turns a little to the player's left certainly helps. There are some trees down the left side. Just want to avoid those. Now, this is not heading in the right direction.
It looks like it's going to be in the rough. So that sets up a tougher second shot, missing the fairway with the drive, now in the rough. Another good swing, and it looks like, Frank, another really good shot.
Great shot out of the rough. He avoided all the troubles just to get that on the green.
That was not an easy shot. He'll settle. Getting set now over the putt. So with that make, now at 3 under par. Setting up for the third hole here at TPC Sawgrass, relatively short par 3 at 177 yards.
But you've got to carry that ball at least 4 or 5 yards onto this green, even when it's firm.
Appears to be a smart shot, Frank.
Yeah, no problem here. That's going to fly all the way.
That is classy.
Well, a chance of going in. Second shot.
Drops another birdie and moves to 4 under on the day. So much focus here, Frank, on 16, 17, and 18. Number 4 is a hole that gets overlooked, but it's a fun one.
Yeah, the second shot here is more daunting, especially when that flag's on the left. So you really do start looking at that blue stuff, water.
That one is in the fairway, down there about 290 yards. Frank, the second here at the fourth is a dangerous shot.
Once again, this is another example of where you have to look at the green. Where exactly is the flag? If it's on that high portion, you've got to fly it all the way back.
Chance for birdie after that beautiful shot.
Rack up another one.
Fifth hole, good par 4, isn't it, Frank?
If ever a hole was built for Lee Trevino, who used to love to cut it, this would be the hole. It just looks and screams for a shot that's hit left to right. And that's the only way really to avoid bunkers left and long, and that one that's all the way down the right side.
Great lie. What a great shot. He has really hit it a long way. Wow, Frank, he is dialed in.
Yeah, that was just some shot on there.
Back-to-back birdies and 6 under par. Frank, what do you think of the sixth? Pretty short par 4.
It is, but you come out of that sort of corridor and fairway opens up and then it narrows up, bunkers to be around. Very, very few people hit driver here.
Like the looks of this one.
Oh, yeah.
How about that T-ball? Not just in the fairway, but way down the fairway.
Yeah, a lot of people can hit it long and crooked. Long and straight, that's the hard one to get. That is absolutely in prime position.
Very nicely done, right on the dance floor. Standing over this putt, concentrating on the read. Oh, that's nice. How about a fistful of birdies? Frank, the 7th hole here at the TPC Sawgrass, vintage Pete Dye, isn't it?
It is. Anything other than straight confuses the player off the tee. But there's 3 pot bunkers down the right side. Just inside that last little pot bunker on the left of that, it's actually a pretty good line.
That's nice to roll in a 25-footer now and then. Those feel good. But still, there's nothing like hitting that perfect tee ball. Long and straight.
Yeah, you can puff out your chest, last to play, the advantage, holes shorter. Basically, the list goes on.
This is a good-looking shot. Beautiful shot. That is tight.
Unbelievable. That is one to savor for the rest of the round.
Now 8 under on the day. Here we are at the 8th at Pete Dye's famed stadium course at the TPC Sawgrass. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo. Frank, this is a hole that I really like.
And players do too, Rich, especially off that back tee where it must be about 80 yards of shoot that you go through before the hole actually starts to open up. And this green, 11 bunkers in total around the whole putting surface.
On the green, and the chance for birdie.
I've heard of being on the zone, but this is just making it look so easy.
Just sensational golf. I mean, he is knocking down every flagstick right now. What a performance. Just an amazing display. The records continue to fall. Frank, I think this is one of the most fascinating holes on the golf course. The 583-yard par 5 9th hole.
With technology now, a lot more players can reach this par 5 and 2. Gone are the days where it was a true 3-shotter, but I remember when Sergio Garcia hit that 3-wood from, what was it, 270, 280 yards? Still one of the best shots I've ever seen.
They'll be pretty happy with that 290-yard poke off the tee. Headed for the bunker? Oh, a bit unfortunate. Wasn't able to avoid the sand trap. Looking to splash this softly onto the green. Frank looks like maybe the greatest bunker player of all time right there.
Well, he's making a name for himself today. You could certainly put him up there with Gary Player, Severiano Baez.
Well, that was a nearly flawless performance on the front side, but Frank...